Hi guys, today we are going to do some Excel exercises on LogicExcel. Remember the other day we were able to do some SQL exercises on this site, and now we are trying to see what the Excel part is made up of. And today I will not just be showing you how to do Excel exercises on this site, but I'm also going to show you how to even use ChatGPT to enhance your learning. So today we'll be learning string functions, learn left and right on Excel. The first question today is use len to get the number of characters in text. If you don't know, len is just used to get the length of text on a cell. Now you might be wondering, what could we possibly need this len function for, or left or right? Well, we actually use it if we want to extract certain text in a worksheet. Sometimes you might want to just get the initials, or you might want to create a new column from a longer word. So you use this left and right to extract the text that you need to form the new column. For example, if you have an email address and you want to return only the name from the email address, you can use things like left function to extract maybe only the name from the email addresses. And we don't use only left and right, we use also another function, mid. There are several other functions that you can use to do this, but further along the line you're going to see exactly what I mean. Now for this question, I was actually very confused on what to do here. Ideally the answer to this should be a nested function where you have both left and right, but because I didn't know this, or I was confused, I actually failed it. And in order to get the answer, I had to go learn, because that's where the learning happens when you use tools like this. It's not enough to just do assessments. If you get or fail a question, you want to be able to know why, so that next time you will not make such mistakes again. So I copied this and went straight to my good friend ChatGPT and here I'm telling it to explain left and right for me in Excel using examples. A very simple prompt, and here we see what ChatGPT is saying. This is where you begin to really understand why left and right makes sense. You can see the examples it's giving us. Sometimes you want to create a shorter code instead of using a longer code. You might want to create a shorter code, so you use left or you use right to get the numbers, and it kind of makes sense. So you know how sometimes customer IDs can be quite long. Sometimes you have cost 01490. So using functions like left and right can help you just extract only a few words out so that the customer IDs can be shortened. So it's also useful for employee IDs. I actually have experience with this one, where you just extract a few letters to form the employee ID. It's also showing that you can use it in phone numbers and product codes. So these are all examples. Even email privacy, look at all the examples that is showing us. So this is how you learn. But I want to push back because it is not giving me exactly what I want. So if you notice here, I'm saying this is giving me with concat, but that's not what I want. I mean something like I love Excel. So now I got specific, and I want you to notice in the response I gave, I already know what concat is. That is why I could push back like this. Now imagine if I did not know about things like concat and left or right. I've already learned this separately, and this is why I will always warn against using AI as a complete newbie. Yes, AI can teach you, but as someone who has used AI to do a project before, I know that if you do not know the fundamentals, if you do not know the basics, AI can actually teach you rubbish. Sometimes it gets so long-winded. I've used AI to do a project before, and the formulas it was generating was too long-winded. Like, there was a simpler way of doing it, but AI was presenting a longer, much bulkier way. So this is where your fundamental knowledge is very required. Before you start using AI, you must have the fundamentals pat down. So now what we are looking at is now teaching me how to combine left and right, and how to get what I was looking for there. And see, it's teaching me something extra, that this only works well when the lengths are fixed. Again, because it showed me some other things, I want to now take it as a learning process. I am asking it to give me examples of find mid and text before. I want to see if it's relevant to what I'm asking it. And if you read through this conversation with ChatGPT, you would see that, again, this is an example of one of those long-winded processes I was talking about, because what it's telling me is not exactly relevant to the problem that I want to solve. And you can fact check this for yourself. Just find out what find, mid, and text before does, and then come back and see how relevant they are to this thing I'm telling you. Find, for instance, is going to give us a number, like that is the position of the string that we are looking for. The one that is even more relevant is this mid. Because of this conversation, I've learned it better. So imagine if I was learning Excel from scratch, at least I've learned that one. But then not all the functions it was giving me was actually relevant, you see. So after learning, I just went back to finish up my exercises, and as you can see, I started doing similar examples much quickly and much faster. If you notice, I stopped midway to go to ChatGPT to find out, what the answer was. So I'm not saying don't use ChatGPT or any other AI tool. I use AI as a learning aid, as a working aid. I use it to get the results that I want. But please learn the fundamentals first before diving into AI. All right, and don't get only comfortable with just practicing your tool. Find out if there's a better way of doing things. As far as in data analysis, you're going to learn that learning never stops. You can never be an expert. Okay, so I hope this has helped you in some way. Go and try the site out. There are so many different exercises covering different topics. I am going to share with you guys an exercise file that I'm working on currently, but that will be towards the end of the month, and it's going to have some take-home assessments that you can get your hands dirty with. So I'll try and upload it. It will be in the link in my bio, and I'm also updating my data analyst starter pack with more exercises and more practice, this thing, more personalized practice. And don't worry, even if you've already bought it, because of the way the file was uploaded, you will still have access to it. So far you've bought it, you will still have access to the new updates that I'm coming up with, but that will come up later, ending of this month or early next month. And that's because I'm currently preparing for some interviews and assessments. So I'll see you guys in my next video.